Hey guys, this is Ajay, and today we are starting the second chapter, the place once we are called home. So let's get started. It has been 3 years since I separated from my father and my brother. While I'm waiting on a seat of the train, I can't stop thinking about it, hugging myself with nostalgia and anxiety. It feels like a long time, long ago, as if I spoke of centuries instead of only a few years. My uncle's house was warm, but it can't replace my real home and family. Every night before bed, while snuggling my sheets, I remember how lonely I was without them. My name is Liliana, but most people call me Lily. With just 5 years, I was sent to a place far away by father by my father. He did it to protect me, since our planet was at war against a species called Furvilis, of which I know too little. My mother died from a disease shortly after I was born. At first, it was an unexpected and easy win, what adults call a lightning war that only lasts a few months. But I didn't stop by them. The news about the war were on everyone's lips and in the network for a long time. From the back of my mind, I can even recall reading news about groups of travelers invading allied worlds, something never anticipated. Shortly after moving with my uncle on a distant planet, I lost contact with my family. I longed with anxiety for news, any messages, any sign, but nothing came. After many shy and sleepless nights, I was surprised by the news of the war finally coming to an end with the defeat of the fabulous. However, there were casualties on both sides that exceeded any forecast before, and a great feeling of hate towards them. Remembering it makes my heart feel heavy. I look down, trying to clear my mind. It can only hope for the best. I can only hope for the best. Looking for something to distract me, I turn my head to look around the window, watching a beautiful landscape, a beautiful background illuminated by countless and tiny points that are stars, along with the presence of large and small galaxies. I lose myself in that image until finally the sound of the door opening drags me back to reality. Immediately, I turn in that direction, only to discover the person who found me, Alexander Waltz, along with an unknown person, an alien wearing a strange mask. I stare at him with curiosity in my small green eyes, not understanding who or was what he was. Then I look back to the window, but this time just to check something. The image remains the same, the calm, beautiful space. At no time it changes, even during the short period when the train stopped. But then, how did I? How did he get in? Are the window illusory screens? Those that have fake images, mainly used in luxury hotels or mansions. I don't know, and it isn't the first time I feel like that throughout this trip. Everything has been too confusing for me. Alexander. Colleagues, I present you the last passenger of the train, said Alexander with elegance. He is like our guide in this adventure. A man appearing younger than my father, but he already exceeded a century old. He then turns to see strange alien who remains motionless and silent. Second pass slowly, creating a rather tense environment. You have to forgive him. He is not used to meet new people, even less from the other species. Alexander pauses and then guides our attention to the alien with an elegant gesture. His name is, well, you can call him Mr. E. Alexander laughs, slightly embarrassed after presenting us to Mr. E. At first glance, he seems scary, but if he is here with others, then he must be a good person. Mr. E, they are who you talked about, and added Alexander, presenting to us. At that moment, I realize they look at me. The small one is Lily Rizal. Pleased to meet you, I replied shyly, waving my hand after hearing my name. And the lady on the other side is Mitra Luhardrin. She then makes a reverence, acting with respect but also coldly. Mitra is also an alien, but despite not being human, her manners are very similar to ours, showing a great elegance that anyone could understand at first glance. Before anything else, answer my curiosity, mystery, unexpectedly, said Miss Mitra, staring with a serious face at him, while I observed confused what happens. You are a fabulous, am I right? As soon as I hear those words, I feel a shiver go down my spine. I swallow saliva at the same time my heart shrinks with anguish. A fabulous, the enemy of my father, the enemy of my race. Why is he here? Is it even safe to talk to him with us? Take him with us. Calm down, relax, girls. Quickly, said Alexander, moving his hand down in a gesture that said, keep calm. He is not our enemy. To tell the truth, he is more nervous by our presence than the other way. I can assure you, Mr. E does not intend to start a fight. He just wants to help, I promise. After saying that, he makes a forced but friendly smile while looking at us with puppy eyes. Mitra shies in discontent. Okay, if you say so, Mr. Alexander, then I'll take your words. Then their eyes fix on me. Ah, yes, I also think you are right. I couldn't help but sound nervous. My mind was a mess, but at the same time, somehow I feel in my heart I can trust them, or at least I want to believe that. Alexander closes his eyes and sits with a smile. Then his face becomes very serious. You should already know that we all come from different places at times, but as you can guess, something unites us. We weren't just picked at random, and that is the war. Then interrupted Mitra, talking with disbelief mixed with anxiety. Mr. Alexander, how can this be possible? How can a train like this exist? This looks more like a dream than reality. I blink with curiosity. I don't know why adults always have it so hard to believe strange things. Of course, if someone just told me about of this train, then I would take it as a joke. But here I am, with my own eyes. I have seen it exist and what it is capable of. I can't keep denying it. I know is real. That's simple, it's magic. Answer Alexander with a playful smile. It's not funny, complained Mitra at the same time. She folds her arm, a gesture of anger that I had also done many times. Yes, I said magic, but I am not playing, I'm just saying it would be easier to simply accept it that way. This train is too complicated for the understanding of any of us, including me. After saying that, he puts one hand under his chin, making a serious face, then unexpectedly turns to look at me. Lily, what would you say the difference between magic and science? Suddenly, he drops that question, leaving me breathless of surprise. Uh, I exclaim, confused, not knowing even how to respond to that. But then I see him give me a warm, friendly smile as if he said, "Was it okay? Don't worry, there are no wrong answers. I just want to hear your opinion." He added shortly after. I then placed a hand on my chest and lowered my face, thinking about it. My lips hesitate for a few seconds until I finally find the confidence to speak. Magic is something extraordinary, something amazing. Technology is using machine to do things. I agree. Surprisingly, Alexander seemed pleased with my answer. Then he turns towards Mitra, looking at her seriously. She, on the other side, seems slightly irritated. Something good of children is that they are not afraid of accepting the unreasonable. Suddenly, an awkward silence fills the room. I can feel the tension in the air. It was like when my parents argued. I had that feeling. Excuse me, Miss Mitra, but my intention was only to show my point. We could simply say it works with magic. After saying that, he makes her smile, reverence towards her, lowering his head. I myself have studied it carefully, even tried assembling it to learn each of its secrets, but it all was in vain. The technology it contains is so advanced that I fear can break the very rules that we thought unbreakable of the universe. It has already done so in order to gather us all. It makes time travel possible and without creating a paradox. I can barely understand half of what he says. Alexander was no doubt a very intelligent man, and my mind couldn't keep up with him. It seems I'm not the only one because everyone else looked the same way that I do. After speaking with each of you, I have confirmed this. We all come from a different moment in time, but also every one of us has a connection with the fabulous Alliance War. Without doubt, it cannot be coincidence. Something must have chosen us. At that time, the three of us opened our eyes wide in surprise. Could it be true? Did the train choose us to prevent the war? I can't think of other reason, even if it sounds absolutely impossible. The only thing I don't know for sure is we are here and the train is traveling on its own and it won't let us go back to the moment we belong. When I was traveling back home, I fell asleep in the passenger ship. When I woke up, I found myself at the space terminal, but the whole place was empty, so incredibly empty that it was frightening. And then from nowhere, I heard a mechanical sound. When I was when I looked up, I saw the train descended from the sky. I wasn't scared, but incredibly surprised, speechless, and breathless. Alexander stepped down to invite me in, and once inside I met Mitra, a lady of species I cannot pronounce well. Apparently, the train was pre-programmed to search us for, that said Mr. Alexander, who was the first to be picked up and who, according to him, has more than 1 year living in the same train. But apart from that, we know nothing. Do you believe that it wants us to prevent the war from occurring? Said Mitra, breaking the silence and taking me out of my thoughts. Yes, of course, stopping the war which was hurt so many and so much. Again, an awkward silence surrounded the whole place, perhaps by shyness, or because everyone thought exactly the same thing. We want to change the past to make it never happen. For the first time, I hear Mr. voice causing me to turn to face him like the others. I was surprised. I never expected him to do something. Mr. was so quiet and still. For a moment, even forget was here. Alexander soon speaks. Before continuing with our discussion, could you please to tell us about your history, Miss Mitra? She blinks, confused at the sound of those words, and then shies slowly, showing little despair to do so. All right. It is still hard to believe all this, but I guess I have no other option. She pauses and takes a deep breath.